Hi friends, it's Alison Solvin with Stamp Crazy with Alison. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I live in New Westminster, British Columbia in Canada on the west coast, which is just right outside of Vancouver, like 20-minute drive, and I'm in the city of Vancouver. So if you know where that is, you know where I am. So welcome, welcome. I'm just going to wait and see if people are jumping on. I'm going to make sure I'm broadcasting to where I'm supposed to. And hallelujah, I am. So that's good. I've got one more place that I have to make sure I can see the comments. And I'm just going to do that and refresh. And that looks like I'm good over here too. Oh my gosh, everything is coming up roses today. Excellent. I just need some folks. Let's see. Nobody yet. Nobody's coming yet. So it takes a minute for Facebook to catch up. Somebody said I should just keep going, but then I don't know what's happening. So I want to make sure that you guys are here. Okay. Hi, Jacqueline. How are you? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Okay. And usually I get a little notice that people can see me on YouTube. So hopefully I am broadcasting there also. It's just, sure I am. I'm sure I am. Sam, I am. I'm sure I am. Okay. So I've got Jacqueline. I am good. It's a crummy day, isn't it? Whoa. Hi, Mo. How are ya? The weather outside is frightful. Kind of a rainy, cold, damp, ugly day. I hope it's warm where you guys are, or at least sunny, or not rainy. Okay, so today we're going to be playing with, let me show you myself, I'll set up here. There we go. We're going to be playing with St. Nicholas Bundle. This is from the Mini Catalogue, and we're going to be pairing it with a product that was brought out that coordinates with it. So stay tuned, I'll show you that. Hi, Jillian. How nice to see you, Jill. Is this your first time? Well, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Okay, so let's go over here. All right. So St. Nicholas is, as I said, in the Mini Catalogue. Here it is. It's on page 11. And we've got the stamps, which are so nice. Now, this might be a bit intimidating because you might think, oh gosh, I have to color all this in. You do not. You could just color in a little bit or just leave it, maybe stamp it on a colored piece of cardstock like crumb cake or something, and maybe just highlight some of the highlights of some of the areas without having to color in the whole thing. But if you like to color, this is a set for you. It's awful outside, just pouring. It is absolutely dismal here. And last night, boy, did it ever rain last night, eh, Jacqueline? Off the roof. Okay, now a thing I always love is I love when there's a punch or dies. And there are dies that go with the St. Nicholas. And what's really cool, a lot of times with our stamps, is that the dies coordinate with the stamp. So you can see here, it's going to, if you stamp that, you can cut St. Nick out perfectly with those dies. And we're going to be using some other dies. There is a die to cut out now is that, I guess it's a mailbox. There's a die that cuts out the drink and the candy cane and the gingerbread person. And there's a die that cuts out the bag and also cuts out this piece here. What else is there? Let's see. Oh, there's a wreath with holly. There's some bricks and, oh, there's for a fireplace, we've got the stockings. So lots of fun things that you can cut out with the dies. Okay, so let me just put this aside for now. And I hinted that we're going to be pairing this with a product that is not in the Mini Catalogue, but it is available for purchase. So let me show you. This designer series paper is called St. Nick. It's 12 by 12. And you get, let me just do this, because sometimes I find that if I stagger these, that you get to see
It's not just one big massive pattern. There we go. So you get 12 sheets, sorry, 6 patterns, double-sided. You get 2 of each. Look at these. Aren't these pretty? Love this. Love this one. And then, of course, holly's always a good staple for Christmas, isn't it? And these damp looks, you know, those are really nice. Look at this one. I love this. Okay, really love that. Cherry cobbler. Look at this one. How pretty is this? I think that's a really beautiful color. That is copper clay. So really interesting colors. So that's one side, and then here's the other side. So we've got those mailboxes. Look at that one. That's like an old that's like the ones in Britain. Love those. Just different kind of mailboxes. So cute. That's a nice neutral one. Here's one with the stockings. And here's another gorgeous one. And then this one here's got the gingerbread and the glasses, and I bet you the dies work on that. Pretty sure they do. And then we've got that nice Jared cobbler. So let me go back to this piece here. So this piece here, we've already established that the dies are going to cut out the stamps, right? But they also cut out 2 of the Santa Claus or Saint Nick images from the designer series paper. Stampin' Up! Introduced this quite a few years ago, where the dies also cut out some of the images from the DSP. And it's just so unique and so fantastic. And I don't know if it's only Stampin' Up! That does it, but I sure love it. Okay, so that's the Saint Nick paper. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's really great. I know where I can find the dies and the stamps, but where am I going to find the Saint Nick paper? So let me come back over here and let's see if I can get this to work. And I'm going to watch and see if it's actually coming up. And hopefully it is. Let's see here. Oh, good. Fingers crossed. So here is where you go. If you are on the customer ordering side, so what we call online ordering, so where you order product from me already, and you go to, now this might not want to work for me. Yeah, it's just going in and out. So what I'm going to do is click on this. There we go. I think that's going to work. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, so then we go to the menu. So you're shopping with me, and you're going to go to the menu. And one of the items on the menu is online exclusives. Okay, and you're going to go and click on that, and you're going to see a bunch of products that are not in any publication, but that are available for purchase. And as you can see here, this one, oh, it's Traditions of St. Nick. It's not just St. Nick. So here's that paper that I was talking about and just showing you. Look at that. Isn't that great? So there's all the patterns. Love that. And while you're here, you might as well have a look around, because look, there's other designer series paper here, Shining Christmas. There's this beautiful tartan foil, silver and gold adhesive back. That's an adhesive back. And then just scroll along here, and you can see so many products that aren't put in our publications, including our kits, but that you can purchase. So that's where you find online ordering. Okay, so I'm going to go back here. Go back here, make sure I'm back and you can see me. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and we can start creating. Who else is here? Oh, hi Phyllis. How are you from Maryland? Nice to see you. Hi Ellie. Do any of the dies cut out from the DSP? I think I covered that, right, Jill? Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, it does. Okay, I think I was just behind in looking at the questions. Okay, so shall we create a card, or maybe 2 if we have time? Okay, so I'm going to start by using a piece of crumb cake. It's cut 8.5 by 5.5. It's scored at 4 1/4. And I'm going to emboss the front of it with exposed brick 3D embossing folder. Okay, I love this. So this, I love this because it's not just like bricks. It's like it's an old brick building and it's all distressed. So I love that. So I'm just going to take my cardstock. I only want the front to be embossed. And I'm just going to open it up. I'm going to put the score line along the edge of my embossing folder. And I'm going to close that. Okay. I have to use the large, I would say large, regular size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So we got platform number 1. We've got our cardstock and our embossing folder. And then on top, we're going to put our plate number 4. And we're going to go over. I'm going to be off screen here because I have to. It's too big to put on my table while I'm also talking to you and showing you on camera. It would be just too much of a close-up. So I can bring that back, and then you can see that we've got this embossed brick. So that is the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. Okay, so check that out. That is in the main catalog, I think, isn't it? Yeah, pretty sure it is. Okay, so now we've got this. Isn't that great? It just adds texture to the paper, which I like. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Diane. Nice to see you. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I took some of that designer series paper from the Traditions St. Nick paper that we talked about. Isn't that pretty? Look at that color. I love that. We're going to use the holly side, and I want to just glue that down to my paper. So let's grab my favorite glue, which is the white glue, multi-purpose. Come on, there we go. Just needed to be woken up a bit. Okay, now I'm gonna, this is cut to 3 by 4.5, by the way. So I'm just going to lay it down sort of at an angle like that. Okay. Now I've also cut a piece of vellum that I'm going to attach on top. And the reason I'm doing this is because this is quite a, even though this is a muted color scheme, it's going to be what else I'm going to create here. So I want to kind of just soften it. Okay. So I'm going to take the glue dots. I use the ones from the paper pumpkin. And I'm just going to put those in the corners. Because if I put glue on the back of my vellum, you'd see all the streaks and it would be not very pretty. So this is the best I have found, is these little glue dots. You could also, I think if you use the seal, the Stampin' Seal, with just like a titch at the corners, I think it would be good too. I think that works. All right. And of course, if you've got images that are going on top of here, you could actually put glue underneath the images that you're going to put on, because you won't see it. Okay, so that's kind of the basis of our card. Now I want to do some die cutting. So I've got a piece here of pecan pie, and I'm going to grab, this is a die, sort of 2 parts here. This is a chimney. So we're going to cut that out of that. I've got a piece of basic white, and I'm going to cut out this piece, which is snow. You'll see in a minute. Got a little bit smaller, so we're going to cut that out. That's another die from the set. And I've got my Santa, and we're going to, or St. Nick, Father Christmas. And I'm going to use the die and cut the image out from that designer series paper that we looked at. Now, as I said, if you prefer, this is the same image. You can stamp it and color it yourself. Totally up to you. So this time I can use my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. So let's bring that in. I use, we've gone click. Sometimes that happens where it clicks over for whatever reason. I might just hit something and it just decides to, you know, show both me and the project, but I just want the project. Okay. So I've got plate number plate number 2. And then I've got my bits and bobs on here. So let's put this one through by itself. I do use repositionable tape to hold down my die to my paper that I'm cutting out if I have, if it's an outline. Okay, it just holds it in place for me because sometimes I struggle with things moving, mostly because of my eye issue. But there we go. Isn't that great? Look at that. And it just leaves a really small little border around there, which I love. Not too big a border. Okay. And then for the chimney, I can cut this piece a bit smaller. For the chimney, I don't have to put the tape on because it's just, it doesn't matter if it moves. And the same with our little snowdrift. Okay, so let's pile that on. Okay, run that through. And then I can move my mini cut and emboss. And I'm also going to grab just a magnet sheet here so that I don't lose the pieces from my dies. I know you would never lose your pieces like I do. But if you do, grab a piece of magnet and it won't move. Okay, so here's what we're working with. Okay, so this is the piece that we started, remember? And actually what I'm going to do, you guys, is let me just bring in a piece of grid paper, which don't we all love our grid paper? Let's bring this in. Maybe you can see a little bit better what I'm working with here. Okay, all right. It's so dark outside, and I work in my studio, which is in the basement, so sometimes it's a little bit dark down here. All right, so I'm going to glue down my the bottom of my chimney. Okay, so this is where my eyesight fails me sometimes, trying to get things straight, but I'm going to hope it's straight. And then this is the top of my chimney. Now, that would be cool in a different color too. Like you don't have to do it all in the same color. You could switch that up. Now look at this. I went through, yes, the other day, all my little bits of dimensionals. And I thought, I'm going to use all these little bits and bobs up. It's my project. I'm going to do it. So this one you want to just, I'm just popping it up on the top like so. So that's the chimney. Okay. A red chimney would have been nice too. And then those snow that I was talking about, this is what it cuts out. It cuts out one like that, which is like the snow that sits on top of the chimney. And then it also cuts out the snow on the roof. Okay, so let's glue this down. It's a bit gluey there, but that's okay. Sometimes it's a bit much, isn't it? Move that over a tidge and down a tidge. And there we go. And then we're going to glue our snow. I should look at the picture so I know what the heck I'm doing here, or my sample that I made earlier. There we go. Okay, next, let's get St. Nick in there. So I am going to pop St. Nick up. Oh, look at this. I'm going to be able to use up so many of my little bits and bobs. I think what I do is I tend to grab a new sheet because I'm going to be on air, so to speak, and I don't want to be fussing with all these little bits. But I thought, no. I got to use up all these little bits. This is ridiculous. And what I love about our dimensionals is that we can use up all the little bits. It's fantastic. Nothing is wasted. Okay, so there he is. So let's put him here where he's just about to jump down that chimney. And let's, before I forget, let's use some Winkostella because Diane is on this call and she loves Winkostella. It's her favorite thing. So let's put some on his beard. Now, of course, you guys won't be able to see this very well on camera, and that's okay. If you do it at home, you'll be able to see it just beautifully. I'm just going to add it to his beard, his hair, and the fur around his hat, and the fur on his coat. And you could add it to the snow if you really wanted to add some glitter. So that's what we've got so far. Okay, now let's add a word. Okay, so I'm going to use with joy, peace, and love. And I've got a piece of mossy meadow. And I'm going to emboss. So let's grab our embossing buddy. We're all good at this by now, aren't we? Well, we're going to just give that a nice swipe. Get all that oil that accumulates on our fingers. Get it off the paper. Stamp our words. In Versamark. That's our pigment ink that's going to allow our white embossing powder in this case to stick just to the words. There we go. And then we can take that off, put the lid on. If you're anything like me, the lid can go either way. Hey Diane, how are ya? Okay, let's heat set this. And then we'll be done. Most of you are watching on my Stamp Crazy with Alison page on Facebook. And I have Sharon, she's watching me over on Border Buddies, which is a group. If you're not a member, you can join our Border Buddy little family over there. It's a little group. Everyone is welcome. And let's see, I've got Phyllis is watching on YouTube. Okay, I've got everybody. Okay, so here's our little words. And normally I would cut this like with a cutter, a trimmer, but you know what? I'm not going to. I think sometimes we can be a little bit too picky. So I'm just going to cut as straight as I can and as straight as I can. And trim off that. And there we go. All right. And there's our words. Okay, I like that. So in the case of this one, I'm going to grab the mini dimensionals. Oh, look, I've got a little friend. And I'm going to stick one on the end here. Okay. And then I want to put glue here. And the reason I'm doing this, you guys, is because this is popped up and we want to anchor this end to match where it's popped up so it doesn't have this sag at this end. Okay. All right. Now let's add some bling. I've got some just of our rhinestone basic jewels. And I've got a dark cherry cobbler. And I'm going to just color in a couple of these little rhinestones. And then I've got dark old olive. And I'm going to color in one of those. So now we've gone from just a nice little rhinestone, which is nice. Nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to just give it a bit of color to match those holly that we've got. Okay. Move all of this out of the way. So there's our card. Don't you love how easy and fast that is? I love that. Now I've got a surprise because normally I would do one card and then we would move on and I'll see you Sunday. But I was playing with this set and so I want to do one more card. Okay. So let's set this aside and let's grab the next card. I'm going to use Pretty Peacock. Got a blending brush here. I just have to grab all my bits. Okay, I've got a couple of other die sets I'm going to use too. I'm going to use the reindeer dies and I'm going to use the basic border dies. Okay, so these are both from the annual catalog. Okay. All right. Everybody still with me? Everyone's still here. Okay. If you have to leave or you just joined, you've only missed one. And if you have to leave, you can come back and watch the replay. All right. So I've got a piece of crumb cake, just like we used in the first card. Oh, and there it's gone again. Isn't that funny how it just keeps flipping? There we go. I've got a piece of crumb cake here, and I've got that pretty peacock. And what we're going to do is use a blending brush and add color to the crumb cake. Now, I just re-inked this, which was probably a mistake because I'm probably going to get it everywhere. So I'm going to take a bit off, and then I'm just going to start rubbing it onto my cardstock. And I'm creating a dark sky. And I suppose you could just use pretty peacock paper, but for some reason, this actually looks really good because you get the different hues of the color, whereas if you're just using a straight cardstock in that color, you don't tend to. Let me just grab a piece of scrap here so I can hold it, so maybe I won't get it all over my fingers. And I'm getting lighter as I go down the page too, okay? Just want it a bit lighter as it gets towards the ground, I'm going to call it, okay? And then I can just add a little bit more up here. Okay. There. That's the look we're going for. Put that aside for a sec. Okay. Like I said, I have to remind myself what I was doing. Okay. I'm going to turn this over just because if I don't, I'm liable to get ink where we don't want it. So let's bring that back in. Okay. Now I'm going to grab the craft white. Now mine is as old as dirt. I think I've had this for 20 years, but so I'm not quite 100% sure what the new one that we sell looks like, but it's the same formula. So it doesn't really matter. Okay. So I've got my white pad and I've got some of the refill in the lid here. And I'm going to take I'm not using the new aqua, what the new ones are called water painters, right? This is an old aqua painter that I've just kind of used. You can use the new ones too, but I had this one, so I thought I would use it. So I just kind of loaded this up, and then we're just going to tap. Come on, there we go. We're just going to tap, and we're going to add some pretty stars. Ooh, that's too blotchy. If that ooh, that's too blotchy. If that happens, I found that if you just use a little paper towel, you can blotch that up, and we can cover that up with something. So you're sort of going with that night sky, and I might just have got a little bit too enthusiastic. That's my thinking, or got a little bit too wet. Okay. Now this takes a while to dry, so we can't use it for quite a while. Well, at least for 25 minutes or so. So here's the one that I've already done ahead of time. Okay, so you can see you've got that nice graduated color. Now I want to make some snowdrifts. So I'm going to grab a piece of basic white. And I mentioned that we were going to use those basic border dice. I'm going to use this one because I think it looks like a snowdrift, right? And then I've got some old olive and I've got some pretty peacock. And we're going to cut out this tree from the reindeer dies. Now, there are so many beautiful trees. There's that new set that's in the mini catalog, and don't gasp, but I don't own it. So I had to think of I must have something with a tree in it. We've got the other Saint Nick here, and we've got the other die. It's going to cut him out. Like I said, you could stamp this and color it. You just use these colors even to be your example, right? You don't even have to think. Okay, so we're going to cut out some trees. We're going to cut out St. Nick's, and we're going to cut out a snowdrift. So let's get started with that. I've got my mini cut and emboss. And like I said before, we've got plate number 3, plate number 2. We're going to stick that in. And I'm just guessing where I want the snowdrift because I'm going to be trimming it down. It doesn't really matter. This one you want to make sure though that you've got your plate on here. There, so it can grab. I don't want to sort of just have it staggered there. Okay, and then here's that snowdrift, which like I said, we can make that smaller or bigger, whatever we want. And then I've got a tree. So let's cut out. Now, when I was doing this originally, about an hour ago when I was making this card, thinking what can we do today, I did manage to cut out 2 at a time. So let's give it another whirl here. It did work. So let's try. Maybe if I go back and forth, it'll work a little better. There we go. And it cut both of those out. So that's great. Just have to loosen that up a bit here. Okay. Where did I go? Oh, there's my tree. So when I did this earlier, it cut out my tree, and now it won't. So that's okay. I'm just going to line that up again and go ahead, and hopefully that will cut out my tree. Okay. I want 2 of the green ones, the old olive. So let's cut 1 more out. 3 or 5 would be nice. It just depends what you're going for. Especially, my card is portrait, but if you were going landscape, you'd want more trees, right? And then lastly, we've got Saint Nick himself, who will be cut out so easily. Okay. Thanks for hanging in there today, you guys, because normally I only like to keep it to 30 minutes and get on and off, but happy that you guys hung in there. Okay. I've got another surprise to show you later, so hang in there. All right, let's clear all this off and bring all this in and bring back our card front. Here we go. Okay. So now I want to make a snowdrift. And just want to, I think I'm going to go this way with my snowdrift. Okay. Before I glue it down, I'm going to grab the pretty peacock. I'm going to kind of see where this lines up. And then I'm going to just trim off this edge. Okay. The reason I don't want to glue this down yet is because I want to stamp my sentiment. And if it doesn't work out, then I could do it again. This is so juicy. So what I'm going to do, I re-inked this because I was doing the blending, but I think I've re-inked it a little bit too much for the actual words. Okay, that looks okay. Remember, just a little tap will give you enough ink. So let's stamp the same sentiment with joy, peace, and love, like so. Close this before anything bad happens. And we can go ahead and glue this on. I'm going to put a little bit more glue on the edge here so it doesn't lift off. Okay. All right, here we go. And now let's build our card. So we've got our tree. Let's put a tree, an old olive tree here. And let's put a peacock tree. Now, on my original card that I was making a minute ago, I didn't pop this up, but I'm thinking this might be nice popped up just for a little bit of dimension. So let's put some really ratty looking Stampin' Dimensionals on there. And that's popped up a tit. There we go. And then another green one. I'm wondering, my Santa's going here. My St. Nick's going here. So let me just play with this a bit. I'm going to glue this guy down. Changing it up from what I originally did. And that's okay, right? Just make it different. I'm going to pop this one up. I did not pop this up on my original card, which I'll show you in a minute. So you can see the difference. Okay, so let me look at this. I'm so happy. I'm using up so many of these dimensionals. It's amazing. That's 2 sheets I've gotten rid of. Okay, how are you guys doing? Anybody? Oh, hi, my Nikki from out Netherlands. How are you? Nice to see you. I popped over here because I can't see who's on YouTube when I'm actually creating. I can see it kind of later or at the end of my presentation. Hi, welcome back. Okay, let's put one on this leg and on this leg. Oop. Look at all these bits. Kind of like a mess, aren't they? But they do the trick. It's good about all the little bits and the ends that are around the edges of the dimensionals, right? Let me spin that back a bit. I'm going to just trim that off because it's hanging over the edge and we don't want that. There we go. So now I'm just going to put this just sort of there. I think that looks good. Okay. Now for this bling, I'm going to use the adhesive back star trinkets. These are so pretty. And I'm just going to put a few of them in the sky. And again, when you use embellishments, it's nice to use them in odd numbers. So 3 or 5 are good. And I'll just do that there. There we go. Okay. So there's the second card. Now my first card was like this. I didn't pop up the tree and I didn't pop up Santa. Let's add some Wink Costella. So it's up to you what you want to do. I think either's fine. But while I was making it the second time, I thought, I think it used a little more dimension. It was pretty flat. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that looks good. So that's card number 2, using the same dies, the same beautiful Tradition St. Nick DSP. You've got to get the DSP. I showed you where to find it. If you're joining me late, you can do a replay of it, of my video today, and you can find online exclusives. You will find this gorgeous paper. Okay, love it. Thank you, Mo. Love it. Now, I told you I had a surprise. I have a surprise. So my order came. I placed an order, and it came just as we were going on air. And talking about those online exclusives, here's some new ones that are coming November 6th. However, you know the great deal that Stampin' Up! Is offering right now for joining? You can join and you can select these products as a pre-order, as a demonstrator in your starter kit. So you can get 35% off the price of your starter kit. So instead of being $135, it's $87.25, and you get $165 worth of product. Or you can pay $135 and get $225 worth of product. It's up to you. You have a choice. So this is one of the new things coming out. It's called Pecan Pie Ribbon. Love that. It's got that, it's vanilla, and then it's got that stitch, which would go really nice with this. Wouldn't it? Looks nice together. Okay. And then got, this is adorable. Okay. This is a bundle, Fluffiest Friends bundle. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at this. Okay. So we're Canadian, a lot of us, and there's our little national symbol, our little beaver, but we've got a bear with a honey pot. Got it, looks like a hamster maybe, and then a bunny and a chick, kitty cat. Oh, that cat, that looks like my daughter's cat. My daughter's cat weighs 22 pounds. Her name is Oreo, but we call her double stuffed because she's kind of, well, she's plump. Isn't that cute? And then dies to match. Gotta have dies. We got the little bees and the beehive. Oh my gosh, so cute. You could almost make that like Winnie the Pooh, couldn't you? Okay, so that's something you can order now if you join. You don't have to wait. And then we've got this suite of products called Garden Meadow. We've got dies and we've got stamps. Okay. Oh, hi, Marilyn. Hi, Sandy. Oh, nice to see you. Nice to see you. So we've got a whole bunch of dies here. Love the wheelbarrow. I think that's my favorite, but I do like the little gate. I think that's nice too. And you know, you can always use stamps that say happy birthday or thinking of you. Okay. So those are a bundle. And then there's these embellishments, which are little birds and little dragonflies called adhesive backed dragonflies and birds. That's original. There you go. That's cute. And then part of this suite is this fantastic designer series paper. Let's look at it. This is 6x6. You get 4 of each of these sheets that I'm showing you in a pack. So you get 48, 4 of each designs. Look at this. This is like a Monet, isn't it? Isn't that gorgeous? If you join or watch the World Card Making Day, if you watch that replay that you can find on my store, you'll see Word Card Making Day, and it's a video on demand. It's there until the end of October. You will see how the concept artist, or actually the artist at Stampin' Up, did this. She painted this, or he. I think it's a she, but so that's one side, just sort of a normal side. And then we've got nice colors, but ooh, another landscape. Another landscape. Okay, so don't you love that we've always got 2 sides? I like this color combo. Sort of looks like petal pink and some other colors. I'll have to look it up, but look at this. Love this. This really looks like Monet. I've got some tapestries in my house. I bought some when I was in Belgium, Brussels, years ago. And then for Christmas, my kids, you know, it's hard. What do you want for Christmas? Nothing. But then I thought, you know, I wouldn't mind some matching pillow tapestries. And so they ordered some from Brussels, and one of them was the water lilies from Monet. And this just reminds me of those Monet paintings. Claude Monet, love him. Okay, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the sky. And then we've got the neutral side, neutral, more colors, landscape, neutral, neutral, landscape. So beautiful. I don't know. I don't even know if I have a favorite. They're just so beautiful. This one's lovely. This is like a sky. Like if you were in an airplane, you could see all those beautiful colors. These are all different. 12 different patterns, you guys. Double-sided. So 12 and 12, so 24, I guess. That's pretty. That's nice. Like that. Okay. So for each of those. So if you don't want to wait till November 6th, join my team. And I'd love to have you as part of our community. And you can add those to your starter kit. Just ask me how and I'll help. Okay, let's go over here. There we go. Okay. Oh, you got it today too, Ellie? Yeah. Isn't it gorgeous? The paper is absolutely gorgeous. And I guess I should tell you the name of the paper, shouldn't I? The paper is called Meandering Meadow. 6x6, 48 sheets. Love it. What is the bundle order number for Flossy's friends, please? That is a good question. I would have to look it up. I am so sorry, but you know what you can do is when you go to order from your demonstrator, in the search button, you can just type in Fluffy's. If you're a demonstrator, yeah, okay. So you're a demonstrator. You can go to the demonstrator side, and you can type that name in, and it'll come up for you. Okay, because only demonstrators can order it. What else have you got, you guys? Anybody else got anything to say? I think we're caught up on all the messages. think so. I think I've got everybody. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed those cards today. Super easy. Those are not hard cards, especially since you can just cut the images out of the DSP, right? So make sure you check that out on my store, shopcrazywithallison.ca, under online exclusives. Okay. Okay, good. You'll be able to find it. The number for each one of the bundle. Okay, you guys. I will see you on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Until then, I hope you have some time to create and have a good rest of the week. Thanks, you guys. Bye for now. Happy stamping.